Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. I'm so excited to have you here, and come on in. The comments are open, and I'm going to sing you a song from the era of Napoleon Hill when he wrote and lived through the publication and notoriety of Think and Grow Rich. This is Oration, Saga, and Song. So come right on in, everybody. We've got a great lesson today. Good morning, everyone. Let me sing you this song from 1939. So sit back, take a breath, and imagine with me. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I've heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to read really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me. Oh, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Why, then, oh, why can't I? Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Why, then, oh, why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I? Isn't that an interesting rendition? That's Ariana Grande's rendition. Can you imagine of when Judy Garland sang it in 1939 for The Wizard of Oz? Welcome, everybody. Today, we're all about oration, saga, and song. I want this to be an experience for you, albeit short, and I'm working toward 50 minutes. I'm going to do my best again today. It's a challenge when I see all you wonderful people coming into the room and how much it means to me. So let me say that I'm Leslie Flowers, and this is a 12-week series of the lessons in Napoleon Hill's #2 classic of all time in personal development, Think and Grow Rich. I started my journey with this book and studying with the world's leader, teaching and living the principles of success found in Think and Grow Rich with Bob Proctor, who has died. And over the last 17 years, I've added to, evolved, and extrapolated on his work that he did for over 50 years. I've invested 20,000 hours and taught this over 17 years, 65 iterations before we even got to LinkedIn. Why? Because this is the #2 bestseller in personal development, and your personal development greats use this book to make millions. And so you might wonder, well, if this book can tell you how to make millions, how come there aren't millions of millionaires? Well, of course, therein lies the big question. And that's what we're going to cover today. So I'm glad that you're here. My name is Leslie Flowers, and this is my specialty, with a special focus on manifestation and visualization. And today you're really going to see the process that causes our subconscious programming. And I'm going to read you a couple of excerpts and show you a couple of diagrams. So please let me know where you're calling from, any questions you have. I'm not always fast on the draw to answer them, answer each other's questions, any insights you have, because people will come back and not only will they listen, they will read your comments. And I have to tell you, the group that is here and that comes pretty much every Friday and Monday, you can talk about this. You now know enough. You've heard it through auto-suggestion enough times. It's time to start articulating it in your own words for other people, bit by bit. It's a process to absorb this information, any information, understand it well enough that you can turn around and explain it to someone else simply. So let me say hello to you. I hope you loved that song. It was a little low for me, but that was the mood I was in. Good morning, Lay. Lay is here from California, which means it's 7 a.m. there. You know how much I appreciate you, Lay, for being here. Lay is a cinematographer, a videographer, and also the creator of an art program for teachers and students to include art in all the subjects, to blend it. And we know that we think in pictures, so how perfect is that? Thank you, Lay, for being here. Good morning, Meryl. Yay, yay, yay. Hot and humid Paramus. Okay, excellent. I hear you. I'm in North Carolina. We get that. It's feeling like a sauna right now, or actually more like a steam room here. So I'm so glad you're here. And look who's here. Elizabeth is here. Hi, Elizabeth. Hope you're doing well. I know you're calling in from Rhode Island. And please give a kiss to Toulouse, my favorite puppy client. Thank you, Elizabeth. And hi, Tracy. Yes, I'm enjoying Friday. Yes, and today is one of the best subjects because this is your opportunity to get really clear on how you can be intentional about building belief and faith in your ability and deservability, even in the face of the fears that you've experienced repeatedly. So only one survives in any given moment. Our job is to aspire to always come from faith not possible as a human being. But right now, most of our reactions and responses or reactions come from fear. It's when we can't stop and think. We're so annoyed. And we'll take a look at that today. There's Christy Williams. Hi, Christy. So glad you're here. Thank you for being such an ongoing supporter. I can't tell you enough how much you mean to me. I just, there aren't any words anymore because you're just like a sister. So thank you. Linda Meyer is here. Hello, Linda. So glad you're joining us. Oh, that's so great. I don't know enough about you, Linda, but I do know Italy and Italian food and chef. And that appeals to me 100%. Thank you. Thank you, Meryl. It is a lovely song. And think about 1939. So I'm bringing everyone back. Thank you for saying that. To 100 years ago, because look, your grandparents lived it. Your great-grandparents lived it. Your parents lived it. I'm a parent. I didn't live 100 years ago, but I sing the songs that Napoleon Hill and your parents and grandparents and great-grandparents listened to. This is what was popular then. I don't want it lost. I don't want my great-grandchildren to say, what's that? I've never heard that song before. And listen, my own kids adopted the Beatles when they were growing up as though they were the first ones to recognize them. So that's what I'm doing. I'm in the winter of my life now, the last quarter, if you will, of 100 years. And what I've studied over the last 20,000 hours in 25 years, I don't want to lose it. I've written plenty of books, but I want to give it to you so that you can practice it each week, so that you can hear it again and get more clear, because you're always growing in awareness of your infinite potential. And you do have infinite potential. You just don't know it yet. And when you come into this room, you have a certain level of emotional intelligence. As you listen today, you're spiked up, because when you leave, you're going to have more awareness, more concepts that you either grasp, get clear on, or you're confused by. If you're confused, that's normal. You just have to hear it again and again and again. So thank you for being here, all of you. And Meryl and Sean Michael is here. So good to see you. Sean has a wonderful show Monday at noon called Monday Mindfest. Mindfest, I think it's what it's called. I can't remember right now. And Angel, gosh, Angel, the L is for Leslie and the flowers. So, hi, Angel. I don't know where you've been, but it's just so great to see you again. Let me hurry up here so I can get this teaching done. And I'm really happy you're here. This is the second week, so I see you all. Believe me, you're my people. Good morning, Ashif. Ashif is in Toronto. He is a 21st century roomie. Get to know everyone here, because they come back every week, which means they're like-minded with you. So they're looking for people's greatness, not for what's wrong with them. When you look for someone's greatness, you have to have it within you. If all you see is negativity, that's a reflection of what you don't like about you. So you can actually teach yourself, and we'll learn today how to actually learn to automatically look for the greatness in someone. It's not a chore anymore. That's the first thing you look for. But you know the default is negative. Thank you, NK. So glad to see you. I'm glad that you've been coming into these rooms. It's so lovely to have you here. And Sharon Rose, you're in Phoenix. You're up early, my friend. So glad you're here. Get to know Sharon Rose. She is a philosopher and well-versed in all this work. All right, let me just make sure I got to get new people, and I'll try to get back to, there's Mary Baker. Mary, you've been gone for a while, and I'm so glad you're back. Mary is all over, omnipresent on LinkedIn. So get to know her, please. Sean says, yes, every person here has unlimited potential. Right, we're born with it. But then what happens is, through our life, we're told we can't, we don't, and at some point we stop trying. Not when we're children, but as adults, we very rarely step out and believe this. I'm going to show you that you can believe it. And if you know my story, there we go. Mind shift. Okay. Excellent. Thank you, Sean, for correcting me. And there's Omar M., one of my most favorite people. He does Zoom party and Do We Really Know Them? And very innovative video live shows, things you haven't seen before. That's what I especially love about what Omar does. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, let me see what else. All right, we're good. We're good to go. All right, so I'll scroll down and do my best to catch everybody who comes in. We may have some folks coming in, so let's start here. All right, you ready? Here we go. All right. So here's today's agenda. The song was Over the Rainbow, done by Judy Garland, 1939. That rendition was Ariana Grande's. And we're going to do a little reading from The Principle of the Subconscious Mind. Oh, Lord, look at that, the F. I guess I missed that editing. You know what I mean. And then we want to really look at what are we thinking about most of the time. You know, we know that we're bombarded with all sorts of things. And really only the ones that make it into our minds, I think through our five senses, are the things that are relevant to us. But even then, according to NLP, right, even the things that are relevant to us and have value to us, we don't always get them clearly, right? We misunderstand. We think we know, but we're not sure. So it really matters what we're thinking. And keep in mind that we only can control one thing. Anybody who knows if we can control anything other than this, you need to let me know. I've looked. We can influence others, but the only thing we can control is what we think, how frequently we think it, and how we're feeling when we think it. That's it. The intention is to be clear what you are thinking. Thinking and mind is a cellular activity, is not part of the brain. It actually, what you're thinking can make you feel bad or good. You know this. So mind actually affects the body, and the body can actually affect the mind. You can put a spring in your step, which actually makes you happy from the outside in, but that's not that's just an alternative way. And the other thing that we're talking about today, understand that this is one way of looking at this. This is not the only way. I can only tell you with 500 clients who have followed these principles and the concepts that I've extrapolated on have all achieved their goals over 17 years. They didn't know how to do them, or they had failed at them before. Because what I've created is the 12 laws of achievement that are nowhere except with me. I spent 5 years looking for a checklist. There are checklists for everything, but there was nothing for achieving a goal with consistency. I'm not interested in haphazard or sporadic results. Are you? I'd like to know what it takes to set and achieve every time, to build my confidence, to build momentum in my business, and to feel happy, healthy, and wealthy all the time, or as much as possible. Okay, look at this. Is interesting. It must be meant for us as a collective to hear this right now. Good. That means that you're highly aware and you're willing to try things on. What's going on inside of you as I share this? Is it, well, I don't agree with her, and what does she know? Of course not. You're listening for the things that resonate with you. And that's the idea for Mind Over Matter Mondays also, is to bring in different disciplines about thinking differently so that you can latch on to whichever piece. Sean shares them. There's all sorts of wonderful mindset people here that shares these. Ashif shares his through very simple quotes that can be extremely inspiring. All right. And then we're gonna look at what are we thinking, and then we're gonna step back into Napoleon Hill's world with a visualization. Now, remember that your imagination is vital. So let's get into this. Okay, I want to make sure I do this in the right order today. Whoops. Okay. So this is what we've done so far. The first week was definite purpose, not even one of the principles of success, but without which nothing gets accomplished. And so when you set 4 goals at once and you're not really compelled to do them, you're not going to reach any of them. If you do, maybe it's haphazard or sporadic, or maybe you deserved it, who knows? But the idea is there is a process, and that's what I'm going to show you. Now, much of the process is here in Think and Grow Rich, but it's the 17 years I've added to it with my program, which expands this work, because 100 years ago, Napoleon Hill didn't know certain things, right? He really didn't. Actually, back then, he wrote in the book that the reason men were balding was because their hats were too tight. Okay, so I thought that was pretty cute. Oh, Mary says Hill was from your area, is West Virginia and Virginia. That's where he met his wife over the kettle that we found to be the mixture of Coca-Cola, which went on to affect the whole world in a positive way. And that's where he met his wife, over that cauldron, Mary. So it's so interesting. All right, definite purpose. What is it you want? Are you the one to do it? Are you compelled to do it? Do you not know how to do it? You don't know how to do it. Something is telling you that you're the one that has to do it. And it's so compelling that the normal fears you have, like, ooh, what if I screw it up? Or what will people think of me? Don't matter. This is what children do. They don't think about the fear. They don't have deep-seated fears yet, but they do know they could fall on the new bike, but they don't care. It's more important. They're more compelled to ride that bike and to show their friends, right? And to feel the breeze in their face. And when they let go with their arms, that's what's important. So once you've got the idea, then you have to build desire. And from desire comes faith. Desire requires that you think about it in present tense. I already have the bike. I'm already living in the house that I want to buy at the beach by the end of next year, because then you can bring your 5 senses together, and that accelerates the amplitude of cellular vibration, which is our communication to the universe, or God, or Buddha, or Krishna, or Jesus, or Allah, all labels for one omnipresent bundle of energetic love that never runs out and always has our back. That is our universe. It's the way I look at it. So through repetition of thinking about this and taking small actions each week, eventually you begin to develop faith. Faith in itself has 3 levels to it. First, you're going to give it a whirl. Second, then you begin to notice people and opportunities showing up that you thought were coincidences. No such thing. And finally, when you hold it in your hand. Once you've done that, you have perfect faith in your ability and deservability. But don't stop with once. The way it's all done is through auto-suggestion. That's why we repeat this, self-suggestion. Repetition is the first law of learning. Think of your multiplication tables, your children's. How is it now that you know what 6 times 7 is? Hey, Maria Simonetti, so glad you're here. Yes, NLP. And on Mind Over Matter Mondays, we've had NLP for 2 weeks. We've had interactive self-hypnosis with Elizabeth. We've had Power Thinking Corp with Stanley Green. We had Landmark Transformational Technology last Monday with Charles Caldwell from Hong Kong. He was on staff with Landmark. So that Monday show is now designed to bring in all of these concepts. So do let me know if I'm missing anything. Okay. And I'm looking for people that are really well versed in this. So it's through self-suggestion that you actually cause faith. We use our imagination. During that week, we learned, now see, imagination is the workshop of the mind. And there's two kinds. There's creative, when you get that wild idea that you never heard of before. Then there's synthetic, when you decide to go for that is your goal, that you don't know how to do it, but somehow you got the idea and you're compelled and you love it. Then you start immediately using synthetic imagination, and those are your results from other experiences. So you start to piece together how this is going to work, but you still don't know. You only have certain information. Imagination is your source for visualization. It is a mental muscle, and it can be redeveloped. And then the ability to make a decision all hinges on your definite purpose. Procrastination is the opposite of decision, we learned. It's the biggest failure for most of us. And the reason is because we don't have a definite purpose. So when someone says, hey, Leslie, you want to do this? But I don't have a goal or a definite purpose that is, I'm focused on this 12 weeks or this 6 months or this 1 month, then I will be all over the place and take it on. But if you have a definite purpose, all you have to do is ask yourself, if I take on this new thing, will it take me directly to the goal I'm working on right now or not? If it doesn't, you simply don't do it now. You ask the person, could we get together and talk again about this? Just because you say no does not mean it's no forever. It just means your boundary is to finish this goal that you've been working on. So say no. If it works, do it. You'll figure it out, right? And that's decision. And then last week we did persistent, the sustained effort necessary to induce faith. So you have to use all of these, really. There are two that you have to, but the more of these principles that you use, the easier it is, the less anxiety you have. A lot of this is already handled for you. All right. So we're in the subconscious mind, which is the connecting link. And I want to read you something that I think encapsulates the chapter without your having to read it. It's the second paragraph in this chapter. The subconscious mind receives and files sense impressions or thoughts, regardless of their nature. You may voluntarily plant in your subconscious mind any plan, thought, or purpose which you desire to translate into its physical or monetary equivalent. The subconscious acts first on the dominating desires which have been mixed with emotional feeling, such as faith. Keep in mind that 100 years ago, he did not understand the conscious and subconscious mind. He lumped them all together. But hey, it's okay, right? We're evolving, and people have different ways of looking at things. Now, Napoleon Hill rarely ever talked about women. It was 100 years ago. And we were the second-class citizens. And things have changed, and they're changing now. So Ella Wheeler Wilcox gave evidence of her understanding of the power of the subconscious mind. And here's what she wrote. You never can tell what a thought will do in bringing you hate or love. For thoughts are things, and their airy wings are swifter than carrier doves. They follow the law of the universe. Each thing creates its kind, and they speed over the track to bring you back whatever went out from your mind. I love this. Very simple. And thoughts become things have been articulated since we began keeping track of written history 5,000 years ago. All the greats said this. Buddha, Jesus, Gandhi, all of them. I mean, you name a thought leader and they'll tell you this same thing. But the problem is, well, how do you do it? And that's what we're talking about today. Okay. Hey, Mosh, so glad you're here. We're stepping into a really juicy part here. We're going for 20 more minutes and I'm doing really well. I've got a great visualization to exercise your imagination for us at the end. And let me just see. Oh, Mosh, thank you for being here. Oh, and look, Mark is here. Good morning, Mark, calling in from India. So good to see you. Let's see what Sharon says here real quick. We must silence the inner critic and cultivate positive mental dialogue. I couldn't have said it better. I just want to grill, literally. Okay, so Mary, I've used this to win door prizes to the point where people have said to me, there's a fix. You see, when you visualize what you want, you increase your cellular vibration, and it is that amplitude of vibration that communicates with the universe to send you what it is you're focused on. So you must be a mighty good person. I remember one of those raffles for some walk for hope. I don't remember what it was, but we were all gathered together, and in this big brandy snifter were all these little red tickets, you know, like you buy so much and they split the tickets and one goes. Now, what I did, every single ticket that I purchased, I looked at the last 3 digits and said, that's the winning ticket. No one else did that. So you may not believe that the amplitude of vibration makes a difference, but I won 8 prizes that day and people were furious. And I just gave them all away as gifts. I didn't need any of it, but it's worked. I've seen people do this. When I give away a book, when I used to do a lot of in-person speaking for local groups and clubs, people who took it seriously, when I would give away a book, right, it was going to be the person who visualized it the most powerfully, who wanted it the most, who was generating excitement that I am going to be the one. And sure as doodle, the person who won it said, I was doing it, Leslie. So most people don't do it, but I invite you to test it. I really do. All right. Let's take a look at this. You might have seen this before. Here's what I want you to understand. Consider, this is a given, okay? You don't need to disagree. This is one way of looking at it. Just get from it what you can. You've seen it before in different ways. But let's just say we get our information through our 5 senses. Most people do, okay? See, hear, smell, taste, and touch. The information comes into our conscious mind. We can reject it at that point. We can reject it intentionally, but if we don't, whatever we're thinking the most by default will be the bridge into the subconscious mind. So we need to be very careful what's going on in the background when we leave the TV on and there's something really negative going on. That is default thinking. You've allowed it in through your 5 senses. If you do a lot of that, it then moves into the subconscious mind where it can't be rejected and it lives like the truth. And that's where all your fears are. Not only did you have a fearful experience, the dog bit you, you fell off the bike, somebody criticized you, someone got sick and died, someone left you, whatever that is. Sure, that may have only happened once when you were younger. But every time you think about it again, guess what happens? Up through your memory comes the cellular vibration, positive or negative. If it's negative, you're reliving it. You're actually going back to that age. So when we're asked to speak in front of people and we have been humiliated speaking as a child in front of people, everybody can raise their hand, right? Every time you're asked and you think about it, some people get sick and throw up. And they don't understand why. because the mind and what you're thinking has a vibration, and negative causes dis-ease. And we'll get into that a little bit more. And if you have any questions, yes, it is an outdated. I don't know that it's outdated. So it isn't your enemy. Well, actually it is. Oh, for me, it's keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Many people ignore fear. So it is in the sense that it dominates our thinking. If fear dominates your thinking and you won't invest a dime in yourself because of your fear of poverty that still exists, we can't afford it. You heard that all your life. That's an enemy, because you don't need a dime to start a business or do anything. You just don't know how to do that yet. Oh, hi, there's Felipe. Hi, Felipe. Excellent point. What we are allowing into our mind based on our surroundings so often we don't. And that's it. And that's it. I mean, it really is it. And so, oh, here's a little fun thing. Hey, Felipe, how are you? Monday, Felipe will be on Mind Over Matter Mondays. And you and I need to talk briefly about exactly what I know you can do and you can bring to this conversation. There's more negative than positive, unfortunately. So it's really important that you're judicious when you think of it to only think positive things. So what happens here is, let me just make sure I got everything. I'm glad you like it. Okay. Okay. So thank you, Felipe. I'm so happy you're here. I'm glad you could make it. Okay. So what happens is, over in the subconscious mind, these are the things that have made it to your subconscious mind through repetition, through auto-suggestion, either on purpose, like what I read you. You can intentionally use this process, and that's what this work is all about, to outweigh your fear of doing something. The way you restore faith in your own ability and deservability is by doing something you've never done before that you're compelled to do, or something you failed at. Because your belief in yourself is that you failed. Okay? We have perfect faith in our fears. Once you take on something you never knew how to do, flying blind, or you failed miserably at, I'm going to do this, and you complete it, that is a huge step towards disproving the fear. So, Sean, to that point, what we're essentially doing is outweighing our fear with faith. Those fears never go away. They do not change into anything else. That's impossible. What we're doing is creating new faith to live in the subconscious mind, which automatically reacts. Right now, it's filled with negative things, right? Things that we're afraid of. This work is about disproving them over time. It's a process. Now, you can't reject what's in the subconscious mind, but I will let you know that you can really tell what it is you have faith in and what you believe by your external circumstances. The way you live, how much money you make, the car you drive, the family you have, the church, the community. Your results will always match that which in you have whatever you have perfect faith in. I didn't want it to end with an in, but anyway, whatever you have perfect faith in, and we have perfect faith in our fears. So when you look around yourself, if it isn't what you want, all you have to do is set a goal for something that you want more of, but that you don't know how to get. Okay, that's the rule. You can't know how because you won't stay motivated long enough. You would have already done it. So the conscious mind receives information through the five senses. There are a whole group of mental muscles, and you'll see that imagination is one of them. These are conscious intellectual faculties that we're practicing every day by counteracting fear. We're developing. They grow in direct proportion to their use. Same thing with fears. And in our subconscious, right, we have our habits, usually not great, right? Our fears, Paradigms are clusters or groups of behaviors, whatever you have faith in and whatever you believe. Oh, hi, Leah. Leah, Wealthy Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern. Hi, Leah. I'm so glad you're here. I love it. Let's see what you said here. What I've done in the past is visualize myself doing that thing. That's right. So let's just say, Leah, that your goal is to bring on another team member in your financial wellness business. You actually visualize yourself sitting in the room with the person. You're looking into their face, right? And you're excited and they're excited. So you basically do a little play acting, right? But what happens is you get to five-sensorize it. That term came from Mary Morrissey. It means that when you're in the present tense and the future, you're going to hear the birds, you're going to smell the ocean, you're going to feel the breezes, and this makes us be in love, if you will, and accelerate the cellular vibration, because our natural harmony is love and kindness, not dislike and anger. But you don't think that the universe was just going to give you everything without your doing much, right? So the inner critic, there are 6 of them, depending on what it is you're setting out to do. So you really need to be aware of them. And I see them as enemies. And listen, it's okay. That's how I see them, Sean. You see them as your way. And, you know, what he said may appeal to you more. This is for you to consider, to think about. You want this conversation to work on you, right? And the cool part about this is it's not even a total hour. And on Mondays, I spend a half hour acknowledging people. So when you go back on Mind Over Matter Mondays, you can scan right through to the second half and you've got 30 minutes of amazing training in different disciplines. Which piece do I want from Landmark? Which piece do I want from NLP? Oh, I really like that one in interactive self-hypnosis that Elizabeth shared. So now it's not just one way. You get to choose the way you're going to think or respond. And the cool part about that is when you get into a conversation, regardless of the context, you have different views that you can select, but not if your fears are saying, oh, no one's going to listen to you. You've been humiliated before. I don't want to do it. These people won't like me. Whatever it is for you, we all have it. You have to be able to outweigh it. So, all right, let me just go on here. Thank you for your comments. I'm going to do my best. I'm trying to stay on time here. I'm attempting to. So what you're thinking, how frequently you think it, and the way you feel is going to cause results. If it's negative, you're going to get negative. If it's positive, you're going to get positive. The only thing is you don't know when. So when you give to a person, do not expect to receive from that person. Expect the universe to keep track and someone else will do something wonderful for you. So don't ever give to receive. Just give. Just keep giving. And then watch when people start giving to you. It's the law of rhythm. That's how it works. Now look, these are the 7 major positive emotions and negative emotions. So what are you going to fill yourself with when you're thinking about it? These on the left are all the high vibrational words or emotions, excuse me. And really on the left, they're not emotions. And this is what Napoleon Hill didn't know. The ones on the left are feelings. They're whispers. The ones on the right are emotions, not thinking, reactive. So the desire, faith, prayer is a perfect example, right, of how we repetitively pray and all of a sudden we believe in God. No, it wasn't all of a sudden. Your parents took you every single week. You read the Old Testament, the New Testament, you did Sunday school. It was all by default. Love, sex is a big one. enthusiasm, romance, and hope. So if you get stuck and you're feeling lousy, think about your goal. And even if you can't get excited about it, think about another time when you were excited about something, and then switch the visual image to what you're doing now. So if you can't get hyped up about what you're doing, you can use your own memory. Remember, memory is, oh shoot, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, so memory is one of your intellectual faculties. So there's a discipline called heart math that does exactly that you can actually borrow the vibration. They track what your vibration is. So avoid the ones on the right. And most of you, I know, are not this way. Sometimes I'm jealous. I sometimes become angry, but then I look for the great. If somebody does something that really ticks me off, I immediately look for something good about them. The smallest thing can shift the way I'm thinking, right? The smallest thing. So you have to catch yourself, though, before you're feeling annoyed or ticked off. Next week, we're doing the power of the mastermind, the driving force in achievement. Okay. Now, we're right on time. We're going back 100 years to a very special time in New York City. I want you to prepare yourself, get comfy, take a couple of breaths in through your nose, close your eyes if you want, but you're looking at this picture to begin with. So I want you to visualize yourself. This is 1932. Let me make sure here. Hold on a second. 1939. A world of tomorrow begins. Because this is the New York World's Fair you're headed to. So take a look at this picture, bring it up on the screen of your mind about right here with your eyes closed, or focus on it. And I want you to visualize yourself in this visualization. I want you to smell things. I want you to feel things. Expand your use of imagination. Okay, ready? Everybody ready? Here we go. All right. Your heart is pounding with anticipation. The city hums its possibility. Now the world of tomorrow begins today. You grip the cool iron railing, climbing the weathered steps above the clamor of the city. The elevated train rumbles overhead, its rhythmic clatter echoing through the steel bones of New York. You reach the platform breathless, not from exertion, but from excitement. The air smells of coal smoke, roasted peanuts from a vendor below, and the faint perfume of spring. As the train pulls in, you catch a glimpse of something extraordinary in the distance. LaGuardia Airport, gleaming and new, its first plane slicing through the sky like silver birds. A man beside you tips his hat and says, "Open just this morning. Can you believe it? We're flying now." The train doors hiss open. You step inside, the car swaying gently as it glides northward. Out the window, Harlem pulses with life. Women in bright dresses, chatting on stoops, jazz spilling from open windows, children darting between fruit stands and shoeshine stalls. The city is alive, electric, and you feel it in your bones. You clutch your ticket stub tighter. Today you'll see something no one has seen before. Television broadcasting, live and in motion. The future is no longer a dream. It's being built booth by booth, pavilion by pavilion. The train slows. You lean forward, eyes wide, as the spires and domes of the World's Fair rise into view, like a city from another planet. You descend the matching rusty steps, your shoes clanging against the metal. The crowd surges forward, laughter and languages mingling in the air. You step up to the ticket booth. The clerk's fingers are stained with ink. "One for the fare," you say, voice trembling with joy. The stub slides into your palm like a key to another world. And then you're inside. Flags flutter overhead. The Trilon and Perisphere tower above you, impossibly futuristic. Children run past with cotton candy, and somewhere nearby, a speaker crackles to life. "Welcome to the world of tomorrow." You walk forward exhilarated. The future isn't coming. It's here, and you are part of it. Now, take a deep breath in through your nose. Relaxed and comfortable, exhale through your mouth. Take time exhaling until your lungs empty. I hope you enjoyed that. Oh, we're at 10:52. This is so much better than I've done before. Oh, we're still 2 minutes over. Hi, 𝗙𝗫𝗏. So glad you're here. I hope you really enjoyed this. Please read all of the contents. Sandra, so glad that you're here. I'm delighted. Yes, mental and emotional release, hypnotherapy. Anger, sadness, fear, hurt, and guilt. I like them. Yeah, when unresolved, can influence belief, behaviors, and physical well-being. Absolutely, absolutely. Excellent. Thank you, Sandra. So excited that you're here. Yes, it was a soothing one. Did you like that? Did you put yourself in the present on the train? Could you see LaGuardia Airport? That is what visualization is. And what you're doing is expanding and developing your imagination, because visualization, the ability to visualize the thing you want, I'll leave you with this, is the DNA of manifesting. And you need imagination to visualize. So we're developing our muscle of imagination, how we're thinking today. And you are so welcome. I am so happy about today's lesson that I only went over a couple of minutes. And so let's get ready for next week. Have a look. And then I'll see you Monday at 10 a.m. Felipe Cofina will be there with his brilliance. And we'll have a little surprise too while we're there. Here we go.